Hi, Douglas Simonson here with a painting demonstration. Today you're going to learn about composition, using complementary colors, warms versus cools, and why values are more important than color. Hi, Douglas Simonson here, coming to you today not from Mexico, but from my U.S. office and studio in Lincoln, Nebraska, not far from my sister's house. Today it's a painting demonstration of a naked surfer. I took Steve G to Diamond Head Beach at sunrise one day, because that's when nobody's around, for a photo session. We went to a spot called Cliffs, a surf break, which used to be my favorite when I used to surf in Honolulu. And I shot some photos of Steve paddling around on his surfboard in the shore break. And this photo is when he had come out of the water and was still wet. So here's how this painting happened. I was doing some sketches from this photo and I was getting frustrated because there wasn't much energy in them. So I decided to just go for it, and I did some real expressive, strong, bold lines. And this is what I got. And I thought, I like that. I thought maybe it could make a painting. I did some more sketches to develop it a bit. And then I liked what I had. I transferred that sketch to canvas with pencil. And then, because I had decided that this was going to be done in an expressionistic style, the next thing I did was I took black paint and I went over all the lines with black paint. Here's a note about composition. As I'm putting in these black lines, I'm noticing how strong the diagonal is from the lower left to the upper right. And I'm thinking I need to balance that somehow. So I made another strong diagonal to oppose that with those footprints in the sand. This is all just to keep the viewer's eye engaged and to keep the viewer in the picture. Next thing I do is I cover the whole thing with an acrylic wash. And while that's drying, I mix the basic colors I'm going to need to start, and then I start painting. One of my favorite color schemes is purples and yellows. They're complementary colors, in case you didn't know. With a beach painting like this, where you've got lots of yellows and tans, and then there's that bluish purple shadow that the figure is casting, just lends itself really well to this color scheme. And then you've got the oranges, which are really warm, like the yellows and tans, and the cool white of the surfboard, which picks up the cool blue-purple of the shadow. So you've got this balance going on with warms and cools as well. Yes, painting can be complicated, but a lot of this stuff you will find yourself just doing instinctively. I mean, I did this instinctively for a lot of years before I really learned about warms and cools. But once I learned about them, I could do it with a little more awareness. Notice I'm not getting bogged down in any one area of the painting. I'm working all over the painting because I'm aware of everything and I want to make sure that everything is working together. I'm paying literally no attention to detail because I'm building the painting and I don't want to fuss with unnecessary distractions. Remember, big shapes. If you're always fussing with detail, you're probably not a very good painter. There are exceptions, but not many. Okay, about balance in painting. I already mentioned balance in composition, where, for instance, you have a strong diagonal, so you want to balance it with another diagonal. And I talked about complementary colors and how they balance each other. And I talked about warms versus cools and that balance. Well, there's another balance that's really important. In fact, it's maybe the most important of all, and that is values. Values are the lights and darks. And just like with the other balancing acts, there's a balance going on with values. There's a couple of things going on with values in a painting. One is you're if you're doing a painting that is at all realistic, you've got the lights and shadows that define the subject matter, like the light hitting one side of the body and it's casting a shadow. That's one kind of values. There's another kind of values that is the pattern of the entire composition. That's the balance of values that makes the whole painting work or not. So you'll see I'm adding some lights and darks to the cliffs behind the figure that aren't necessarily there in the photo that I'm working from. That's me creating a pattern of lights and darks that will make the composition more interesting. And I'm doing the same thing in the sand. I'm adding some lights and darks here and there, not because they're really there in the photograph, but because they're going to make the painting more interesting and make the viewer's journey through the composition more interesting. And voila, here's the finished painting. I've entitled it Morning Eclipse, and you can see it now on my website. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me paint and maybe got some tips on composition, complementary colors, warms and cools, and values. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. That inspires me to create more videos. And if you got inspired watching me paint, great! Go put on your painting smock or whatever you wear and go paint!